Saturday night playing this Legacy Challenge. Play some deck that, you know, I'm not even going to play this in a real event, but this is a deck that I want to try, like Reanimator or something.
Right. Of course, I mean, Reanimator did just make the finals of a Open not too long ago, so
very recently.
Yeah.
So it was Kyle Cluster, correct? Yeah, he's been working on that one for a while.
Yeah, a Ginger Taxis, really nice reanimation tool for that.
That guy. Well, I think we'll be seeing and talking about that one a lot more tomorrow.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so what do you think about Legacy right now? Where do you think the format is at?
I think there's good combo decks. I think there's, you know, some good green-white style Knight of the Reliquary decks. I think that card's really good right now. It beats a lot of the cheetah creature into play combo decks. It's a good way to win these, you know, fair deck mirrors. But I think people are undervaluing Dredge and Affinity.
Dredge, yeah, I think Dredge is a really powerful deck builds aren't ready for.
I throw a lot of hate on Dredge. You know, it's not really a good combo deck, but it's a really good linear beatdown deck. Looks like
all right, so feature match is going up. We'll see who we have shortly. We've seen 6 different decks so far. I wonder if that'll keep up. I would love to see 8 different decks.
Is that a Christian Valenti I heard?
I think it might have been. Kyle Dubinsky.
Kyle Dubinsky's on Tempered Steel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see what we have.
Yeah, I know a few of the Ann Arbor people showed up and they're saying, I'm just going to run Kyle 75 because whenever you run Kyle 75, good things happen.
So James Wolfe versus Christian Valenti. That's a pretty good matchup to watch. Both players with some accomplishments. Christian Valenti actually was on kind of a streak for a while this year. Made top 8 of some Opens, defeated you, and then top 8 of a Grand Prix.
I may have had something to do with him getting into top 8 by playing my last round.
Got what you deserved.
A little bit.
Yeah, I remember watching that match, and he drew pretty well. He had Spearbreaker Behemoth, which you weren't really, Spellbreaker Behemoth, which you weren't really.
To be fair, I did take his Primeval Titan, had like a line, and he just drew another one. I died, and then the next game, I believe his phrase was, "We did it!" as he drew the second one.
Yeah, the matchup was you were playing Fairies, of course, and he was playing a Red Green Valakut.
Of course. Yeah.
So I wonder, do you think he'll be playing Red Green Valakut in this event?
I don't know. He's been liking Red Green. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. If he's playing Valakut, what kind of Valakut do you think he's going to be playing? Do you think he'll have Urbrask hidden in his list? Do you think he'll have Inferno Titan in his list? Solemn?
I think today's a good day for Inferno Titan, but I don't know necessarily what he'll have.
Very exciting. Well, we'll see what he's got to offer. How about James Wolfe?
I'm not really too familiar with him, but I don't know. Is that going to be the video feature match? Do we know yet? Or?
That's the feature match.
It is?
That is the feature match on camera.
Okay.
So
we'll have to see.
I am excited to see what these players are bringing down to the table. James Wolfe is a name. I know he's had some success. I also see his name posts on Facebook all the time. So
I may have recognized this. Yes.
Starts the Game's comment system this week especially switched over to a new Facebook posting system. Yeah. So if you didn't have a forum account before, you can go over and post on our articles just using your Facebook name. And I've seen a lot of new names pop up that way.
And for those of you who are concerned about that, there is a setting so it doesn't automatically go right to your Facebook page.
Yeah.
I know there's been a lot of discussion about, I don't want to clog my Facebook page with all these like Magic comments and make it become like a Magic forum, but that's not a necessary thing. You can definitely,
disable it.
Yeah. And it's definitely going to be nice to, weed out some of the less desirable parts of forum life.
Should be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Yeah.
But anyways, James Wolfe, name I recognize. I know he's had some success. We'll see how things turn up for the players this round at the Star City Games Open Series here in Cincinnati. 2 days heading into round 3 of the first day. See how things go. We've already seen some players fall. We saw Drew Levin fall in the first round, 0-1. We saw Chris Van Meter under the lights, picked up his round 2 match barely.
Very close.
Very, very close matchup. Looks like a lot of the grinders are actually opting for mono red.
Yeah, it's a good deck.
Yeah, Patrick Sullivan, has been talking about the deck a lot. And
here in spirit.
He's here in spirit, as we've seen Chris Van Meter and AJ Soccer both playing it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that plays out. We were talking about this last night. Mono Red is at one of its best. Mono Red Standard is pretty much at its peak because not only do you have these great new spells, you have Grim Lavamancer and Incinerate, all this good stuff, but you also are the most resilient to cards like Core Firewalker that you've
Yeah.
ever been. You've got Dismember, Shrine of Burning Rages.
You actually have the best red drop of the red 1-drop ever. Goblin guy.
So Christian Valenti, as we expected, red-green Valakut. He does have Urabrask. He does have Solemn. This actually looks...
I think he was working with Ollie on
Yeah,
this.
this looks super similar to all
He
your
has 60
lists.
cards instead. He's got the Beast Withins. He doesn't have the main deck Slag Storms.
He's got a Cultivate
He's got a
instead,
Cultivate. I think he caught the 2 Slag Storms so he could go down to 60 cards and turn the second copy to a Cultivate.
Okay.
But other than that, it's the same.
His sideboard is different. He's got Memoricide in his sideboard.
Yes, he does. He doesn't have the Creeping Corrosion or any of those.
He doesn't have all the 1-ups that Ollie had,
Yeah.
which is a big difference.
And most importantly, he does not have Nature's Claim.
Which is interesting. His opponent is playing Cobblade.
Oh boy, let's go.
So let's take a look at this. Cobblade deck, Spellskite, Squadron Hawk, Hero of Bladehold, Blade Splicer, Mirren Crusader, Jace Memory Adept, Gideon Jura. So who's opting for the 5-mana Jace instead of any Jace Balerans? Gideon Jura, Manleak, Preordain, Dismember, Sword of Feast and Famine, Spell Pierce.
And a pretty standard 26 lands, 4 Tech Edge, 2 Nexus, all the duels, and then 4 and 4 on the basics.
How do you feel about Tech Edge right now?
It's kind of awkward that it doesn't really kill Inkmoth Nexus that often. So that might be something to consider. You know, if Tempered Steel gets really big, you know, they're not necessarily going to have 4 lands in play. They'll have Mox Opals maybe, but you know, that Nexus might keep serving in there despite, you know, being a non-basic.
Yeah.
It looks like he has Leon and Arbiter on the sideboard too. Now that Stoneforge isn't around, that's something that you can definitely look at doing, and especially because you don't need the fetch lands for Jace anymore either. It's definitely opened up a whole new world of being able to play Lean and Arbiter in this time.
Yeah, you can play Lean and Arbiter pretty easily, and again, this matchup especially against the Valakut deck, it makes a big difference. Another card in James' sideboard that I'm a big fan of is Timely Reinforcements. I wrote about it in my article this week. I wrote about this deck, actually, the Blue-White Cobblade deck, and that card has been incredible for me.
That card is a lot of life. You know, even if it just chump blocks the Goblin Guide every time, or like, that's 12 life right there. Like, you know, that's a minimum. You're gonna gain like 3 mana for 12 life. I'll take that.
And the insane part is not only is it 3 mana for 12-ish life, but normally you're trading for a card too. Because say they're playing mono red, you play Timely Reinforcements, you're up 6 life. Plus your tokens can just trade with like a Goblin Guide or something. Yeah. And then you trade it across, you're up 12 life, you play another Timely Reinforcements.
It gets real hairy real fast. And I mean, they can be dead in multiples, but I think if they're dead, you're probably pretty far ahead anyways.
Now, there are some exceptions with the card. I think it's really tempting to bring this card in against any beatdown deck, but it's actually not that good against some beatdown decks. You want it against mono-red vampires for sure, but against a deck like Tempered Steel, it's not that exciting.
You gain 6, you take 17, that's not really going to help much. You got 3 1/1 blockers that don't interact with Signal Pest or Inkmoth Nexus.
Yeah, it doesn't really actually do that much against decks like Tempered Steel or Elves. Against decks like Red, where they're trying to burn you out, or you have a lot of small creatures, it's a different story.
The sort of difference between, these Red-style aggro decks and these sort of, like, Army-style aggro decks.
Right, I mean, once again, attack for 9, take 17, or, gain 6, take 17 doesn't really help, right? So... minor pairings issue being resolved. We'll beat the match in a second. Fortunately, they're not going to have to repair the round, which is fortunate. They're just switching a couple of matches around that were, unnecessarily messed up.
Instead of making 400 people, get up, switch around.
Yeah, I remember, the PTQs where you'd have a repairing, and the worst is when you sat down and you're like playing for top 8, and you knew it was a good matchup. You felt so good, and they're like, oh, we have to repair the round.
See, I had one of those happen where I accidentally got dropped. They didn't repair me. They paired me in against the bye. So the guy who gets the bye, who is 0-4-1 at this point, I'm 4-1, and I get demolished.
Okay, players, thank you for your patience.
I cast Mind's Desire for 12 and lose.
What was he playing?
Main deck Orms.
Welcome to round 3.
Oh dear.
Well, the round just began.
Yeah, so we'll be switching to the match any second now. I'm excited to see this go down. I've been playing with the Cobblade deck a lot. I've been playing the Cobblade deck that James Wolfe is piloting a lot this week. James Wolfe on your left, playing Cobblade. Christian Valenti on your right, playing Red Green Valakut. And I think Cobblade still has a lot of legs. It's not as good as it was when it had Big Jason Stoneforge Mystic, but it's still a very powerful deck.
Yeah. it still has everything else that it did, which was good enough to win a lot of games.
Sword of Feast and Famine might actually be even better now, because a lot of the time in Cobblade, they'd be able to set up for it. They're like, no, it's coming. They can like get a blocker.
They have all
in
these
line.
Squadron Hawks. There's just no longer these like 1/1 white creatures getting in the way. There's like Llanowar Elves and Birds of Paradise that don't really do much.
And now you're just like 5 mana, slam it down, hit you.
And, there's no longer these crazy things like main deck, Divine Offerings or whatever.
Right. People don't have all the hate that they did before. All right, so Christian Valenti off to the races. Turn 2, Overgrown Battlement.
James Wolfe doesn't really have anything in play. He's got a Conod and a basic Plains, but he was on the play this game.
All right, Preordain on turn 3. That's the turn to do it. We'll see if he finds a Squadron Hawk to jam down here. Looks like he sees at least one land there.
Puts them both on the bottom, it looks like?
Both. Grabs a new one. Draws another island. Looks to me like he probably has plenty of lands in his hands. Didn't have to play the first couple turns, shipped some lands, drew another. Chris, on the other hand, see a land.
I see an Urbrask, I think.
Yep. Urbrask hidden. Taps the Battlement.
Looks like this Battlement's going to cast an Explore.
All right. Christian Valenti is going to go exploring.
He does have a Valakut in play, which is relevant against Tectonic Edge, so that's something to think about going further on.
Tech edging a Valakut can be a big deal.
It's also his only red source as of now, it looks like.
And he thinks about it, plays his 4th land. Snaps it into play dramatically as if to signal, hope you don't have the Tectonic Edge. And taps 3 Zenith.
on Zenith for 2.
For 2. Spell Pierce from James Wolfe puts an end to that nonsense.
It's probably going to go for another Overgrown Battlement there, but...
Yeah, and then those Battlements are tapped for 2 each. That's pretty insane.
That's all of the mana you'll ever need.
Up to 8 on the next turn. Potentially 9.
Yep, there's that Tectonic Edge.
But
there's a hero. Hero Bladehold. That guy means it.
James Wolfe is feeling heroic, yes. Hero Bladehold is interesting. Like, I think in some matchups Mirror Angel is better, but if they can't kill the hero immediately, it's a big issue.
If you're worried about removal, you want a Mirror Angel, but otherwise, Hero just ends it.
Yep.
That is a card that does not mess around.
Alright, so taps 3 mana.
Beast Within.
Have a 3/3, thanks.
To my second Overgrown Battlement that I just played, that's going to block.
Exactly. That's why Beast Within is so brutal in the Valakut deck, because a lot of the times you don't care about a random 3/3, because you're going to kill them anyway, and you even have blockers like Overgrown Battlement to help deal with it.
Oh, yeah. And Solemn Simulacrum, that's a great blocker.
Turning your Solemn Simulacrum into a beast, not the worst thing ever.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I didn't even think about that one.
Yeah.
You can Plume Veil trick them a little bit there.
Sure. Yeah, we saw earlier an opportunity where Aliantrazi could have Slagstormed away his own Simulacrums to draw a bunch of cards.
Yeah. So that looks like another Tectonic Edge.
Yep. I'm surprised if that's an edge. Yeah, I think you want to go for the edge now. Oh, apparently not.
Well, to be fair, Valenti doesn't have a lot of mountains in play, or by a lot I mean any. There's not really many red spells he's going to be casting.
Well, I think you want to keep him off
red.
Inferno Titan or Urbrask.
Well, maybe he doesn't know if he has that card. That's not the kind of thing that people usually consider.
Sure.
It's, Urbrask was something that we were pretty surprised to see at first.
I mean, the question for me is, what is James Wolfe trying to ramp up to in his Cobblade deck? He doesn't really have too many expensive drops. So by tech
he does
edging,
have more lands in hand, too.
And he has more lands. So by tech edging that Valakut, I don't know.
Maybe he
and now he's resigned to do it right now.
Trying to get a threat into play and leave mana up to counter. He has Celestial Kana that it could be attacking as a threat.
Right.
But
well,
there's a Gideon Jura. That's probably going to take down that Urbrask.
Yeah, Urbrask down. All right, and Gideon is a card that's gained a lot of value. In the Cobblade Mirror match, people started cutting them because they're just not that, they were too little too slow a lot of the time. Although I still like them.
Well, after Batterskull, things were a little different.
After Batterskull, things changed. But now it's a whole different world. Gideon Jura is back on top.
And it looks like a Primeval Titan for Christians coming up.
Oh, man. Good draw for Christian Valenti there.
Probably just mountains this turn?
Yeah, mountains. Or maybe a Valakut mountain, potentially.
He's getting at least one Valakut.
Or maybe just go double up on Valakut.
But that doesn't work out right on the math, I think. Like, you want to have an even number of mountains in play pretty much at all times.
Sure.
Though it might be right to get 2 Valakuts just so they don't get tech edged.
He's definitely getting one Valakut.
1 and 1.
Now, off the top Primeval Titan is something you know a little bit about. How does it...
He had it the whole time.
He had it the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched his hand. You couldn't play it last turn. Could you? Maybe you could have. Maybe he wanted to lead on Urbros.
I don't think he had it.
I mean, if he leads on Urbros there, it plays around Gideon pretty well. Because if he, doesn't kill the Urbros, he just gets to Titan attack immediately. It also helps beat Tectonic Edge.
Right.
Because it gets all of the cards into play at once. So that Gideon's going to go up to 6 counters.
All right.
And James lays an Inkmoth Nexus and plays a Jace Memory Adept.
All right. So do you even go for the milieu plan, try and get rid of all your mountains? That's what it looks like he's doing. There's no mountains for you, Christian Valenti.
It worked out pretty well in Zendikar block
All right.
for the single and 2-set format.
Looks like 3 mountains.
Looks like a lot of forest, though.
A lot of forest, but 3 mountains, still a reasonable number.
He also no longer has Avenger Zendikar to go get.
Looks like there are 12 mountains in Christian's deck. He's got 2 in play and 3 were just milled, so there's only 7 left in his entire deck.
Yep. But that does tap down the Tectonic Edge, so things could get a little interesting here.
Yeah.
4 mana. That's Oracle and Moldiah.
All right,
let's see. Is that a Valakut? That is a
Valakut.
Valakut.
Double Valakut.
Land 1. It's a sad robot on top.
All right.
Overgrown Battlement taps. Christian Explores.
Oh, that's a good one to draw.
I think I might have waited on that till post-combat.
I kind of like the drawing the Solomon casting it.
Oh, that's true.
And
It's an Evolving Wild.
So now it's online, right? You play the Solemn, you get a mountain.
Uh-oh.
You crack the Evolving Wilds, get a mountain.
Crack that Primeval Titan in, get a mountain.
You get 2 mountains, they both hit for 6.
I think that actually kills... Jace lives, but everything else is...
I mean, he has to attack Gideon.
He does, in fact, have to attack Gideon, but he's going to use one of those mountains, probably kill that...
Or you could just rebirth your Gideon.
What?
Is that good at all?
No, he kills the 3/3 blocker, so Gideon dies and doesn't get to assassinate the Primeval. And then Jace is going to take 3 from the other one. So... Oh, wait, there's 2 Valakuts. No, this is everything dies.
Yeah.
Everything dies.
Yeah. I mean, that's 6 damage.
It's 12.
Or, sorry, yeah, 12 damage. 6 to Gideon is what I was saying. So 6 to Gideon.
Well, the Titan has to attack Gideon to begin with, so you may as well just get that damage at Gideon.
Right, yeah. I mean,
so
yeah.
it looks like James Wolfe is going to lose his Jace, lose his Gideon, lose his token, and take 3.
And probably lose his hopes of winning the game.
Yeah.
In the process.
There's small margins. There's something he can maybe do.
He doesn't have main deck Day of Judgment. He can maybe draw another Gideon to kill off that Titan, but even then, every mountain Christian draws is just 6 more damage to the dome.
I think the win here involves getting another Tectonic Edge possibly, but definitely a Feast and Famine for that Inkmoth Nexus.
All right. So let's see what's happening. All right, down goes the sheep.
At least 3 mountains left in Christian's deck for those of you counting at home.
Very important.
Yeah.
Very important.
And I think does he have another land drop after this too?
He still has +1 land drop from that Oracle. Is that a...
He's got to flip that top card.
Wilds. It's an Evolving Wilds on top of his deck.
No, that's his graveyard. He's still yet to flip.
That is the graveyard, sorry.
That's a Rampant Growth on top of his
so
deck.
he's not getting that one in this turn.
And looks like Gideon's going to go down here.
All right, Gideon gets humped.
Maybe it could be a Dismember, though. I think that's what James is thinking about, whether he wants to use this Dismember. Oh, he redirected. Ah.
So the... Wait.
I think that Christian may have used all of the damage to take out the Planeswalkers.
Interesting.
Played around a Dismember. It's a good play. You're pretty far ahead. May as well not just lose your Titan to that.
Right. Interesting. All right, so...
James looks like he has some lands. He's got a Tectonic Edge, an Inkmoth Nexus.
He's got 3 lands.
He has another Tectonic Edge in hand, so...
I mean, he can edge down 2 of the Valakuts, but even then...
Still got to kill that Titan.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like he has that many ways in his main deck to do that.
No, he had to draw the Gideon pretty much.
Yeah. Christian has 1 Valakut left in his deck.
1 Valakut. 3 of them having Tectonic Edged away.
Yep.
And now Christian is going to serve in with that Titan. Let's see what's on top of his deck right now.
Can't really see.
Yeah, can't quite make that out.
It's a spell.
It's definitely a spell. So I mean, we're probably going to see Rampant Growth. Oh, no, just
That's
served in.
everybody.
There's 10.
And I think that's going to get... he does have the Inkmoth to block, but I think that's going to get Valakut Mountain. That's going to do 3. And that leaves 2 mountains left, so that's another 6 damage to burn there.
Right.
So James Wolfe is at 13. And Christian has a mountain on top of his deck and a rampant growth in his hand.
And that should be it, right?
Should be about enough.
Yep. James takes
Because
it.
even if he blocks one of the 2/2s, that puts him to 5, and you know, that's 6 damage from the mountain. It's lethal.
Yeah, so he blocks.
Maybe he's hoping Christian forgets about trample.
How much damage are you assigned to make Bob Nexus?
Yeah.
6? Alright, sounds good.
This is
Take 3. He wants to make sure that Christian has the last mountain in his deck.
yeah. The 11 was the typical number before this, so
It's
That's worth knowing.
reasonable. Yeah, especially if you have Jason in your deck, it's reasonable to know how many mountains your opponent has access to. And Christian does it. James packs up his cards. Heading into game 2. So now what do you think happens? So looking at Christian's sideboard, Memora side not
No.
coming in. Obstinate Bailoff.
Obstinate Bailoff is coming in.
It is coming in.
Sort of Feast and Famine. Though I don't know
That's
if
so greedy.
it's not. I've seen it happen so many times. Though I don't know. Did Christian doesn't actually know that James Wolfe is on Callblade. We didn't see. You saw Hero, but Hero's
and-
like a reason.
Yeah,
he might not.
control.
No, it's a new format. He might not necessarily, know what's going on.
Right.
Might not have the full idea of maybe he has Sword of Feast and Famine. He might just be thinking, oh, he's got like Inkmoth Nexus as a man land for value because he's got a million lands. Hero's a good threat. All he saw was Gideon Jury. He saw Jace Memory out. It's a pretty big, Do you actually, if you said Jace, you actually expect a Callblade deck to have that?
Yeah, I don't think I would.
Yeah.
So Combust definitely coming in though, right? I mean, he saw Hero. He saw Hero of Blade Hold.
Yeah. Against old Callblade, it wasn't so good, but against Hero Blade Hold, it definitely changes things.
Yeah.
Thrawn's probably coming in. That's also good against Hero.
Yep.
3/4 versus 4/4, classic fight.
Slagstorm
Or
not
probably
coming
not.
in. So Christian probably going to bring in the 2 Combust and the 2 Thruns.
Maybe an Obstinate Bailoff.
Maybe some of the Bailoffs.
Maybe.
What do you think we see him shaving? Harrow probably. Don't Harrow against the blue decks.
Probably not. I don't actually know beyond that. You probably want Beast Within. It kills a hero. It kills a sword. Kills a land like a Inkmoth Nexus. Ouroboros is pretty good against Gideon. Let's see. Yeah, maybe Solemn again. Everyone I talked about this deck is just like, I've got these Solemns. What are you boarding out? Well, Solemns. Yeah. It's just kind of this card that's good enough.
Right.
You always board out like some Cultivates.
Can't be
maybe in the
Spell
old builds.
Pierce.
Yeah.
It's like okay.
Yeah. So let's look at the Callblade deck
let's
here.
look at the Callblade list.
So he's got Flash Freeze for sure.
Flash Freeze definitely coming in.
Maybe Jace Balerion.
I like Jace Balerion
Yeah.
in this matchup actually. Like you just play it and go -1. Like you just go up a bunch of cards.
Yeah. Definitely Spell Pierce.
Spell Pierce for sure.
Probably Oblivion Ring as a way to beat a Titan.
Overring is reasonable.
You need some ways to kill a Titan in his play,
Overring's
and
reasonable.
definitely lean in Arbiter.
Yeah, and then Arbiter I think could be a potential breaker in this matchup.
I think that Blade Splicer is probably going to go out, or Squadron Hawk, or Spellskite. Some of the creatures.
Well,
they
you need sword is good in this matchup.
Right.
You need somebody to put a sword on. Like Spellskite is not good.
Yeah.
Spellskite's going to go out.
Sure.
So we're definitely cutting through Spellskites.
Actually, he might leave in Spellskite because if you're worried about Nature's Claim, that's a good one. Like, it still carries a sword.
I mean, do you think that Christian would just in the dark bring in Nature's Claim after seeing Jace Memory decks?
That's true. That's true.
I mean, that's pretty gutsy. Unless, maybe they'll be like, maybe they'll bring it in for the wrong reasons, right? Oh, he's got Contagion Clasp, Everflowing Child.
Yeah.
So we better bring in these Nature's Claims.
Yeah. Maybe he's got like Volition Reigns or something.
Right.
Yeah.
But we know Christian doesn't have any Nature's Claims.
No. But yeah. Some of the creatures that just aren't as aggressive.
Yeah, like I think Spellskite probably comes out.
Yeah. You're putting in Leon and Arbor, so you don't actually need to leave too many creatures in.
Yeah, I mean, I think you want to keep the Hawks actually. Like, I think a lot of people board them out against Valenti.
Yeah,
back in
I was
Cobblade.
never, I was never a fan of boarding those out.
You need a way to kill them. Like,
Yeah, you could board out maybe one, so like, you don't need to get 4 Hawks against Valaki, but like, you need something that does it.
I mean, especially without another 2-drop now, having a 2-drop to play is
Yeah.
really important.
Yes.
Like that game, if James had a 2-drop, maybe it wouldn't have changed, but it would at least like
He would have been
significantly
doing something
different.
the rest of the game, yeah.
Like you could have cast some Squadron Hawks and had some action, and if he draws a Sword of Feast and Famine, like that totally changes the game.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think we'll see the Spellskites go out. Maybe the Blade Splicers, like you were talking about. You said that card was pretty unimpressive for you in general, so...
kind of felt like a more expensive Porcelain Legionnaire, and Porcelain Legionnaire isn't that good to begin with.
Yeah. Other than that, Dismember. How do you feel about Dismember?
You need to kill those overgrown battlements, or the Birds of Paradise, or the Oracles, or just whatever's going on. It's probably going to stay in.
Yeah, I don't know. I think one of the key cards here is going to be Lunar Arbiter. There's only 2, but if James draws one of those, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
especially because Christian doesn't
really have.
He has Combust.
Beast Within.
2 Combust. He's got some Beast Withins.
But yeah, especially Solemn's also not that great against Arbiter. Costs more, you know. Cultivating was a bit better, but it's a bit harder to Solemn Simulator from, and I think that's going to make a difference if that card hits play. Okay, looks like they're about ready to start, drawing their opening hands.
All right, so players heading into game 2. James Wolfe going to be on the play this time. Christian taking down the first game with his Valakut deck versus James. A pretty mediocre draw. Do you still like the Mill 10 off that Jace?
Yeah, I think that's what you have to do.
Because you do it twice, you're probably in reasonable shape.
Yeah, it closes fast, and you can't just, you know... Christian didn't really have anything in play at that point in time. Like, it's not... He wasn't too threatened.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Mill. I like the Mill there.
Especially because, you know, Christian just kind of went from a Valakut and like a couple mountains at most to just everything you have is dead, and you can't just expect that to happen.
Right.
I think Christian said he's keeping.
All right. Yeah. Well, James is off to the Mulligan house, so let's see. Yeah, Christian says that he's keeping. So James going down to 6 cards, taking the bad kind of trip to Paris.
Oh, they're resolving a sleeve issue on James' part. Probably just one busted during shuffling.
Oh. Oh, okay. Never mind. Guess he didn't go to Paris after all. So, leading off with the Preordain. Turn on Preordain, I think that probably means he's trying to dig for either lands or a 2-drop, right?
Yeah.
Normally you want to cast
He drew a land, so I think he's keeping lands.
Yeah.
His hand's got a Mirroring Crusader. He brought in Jace Balerion. He's got a Spell Pierce and a hero.
Yeah, I like Jace Balerion in this match, but I feel like you just keep him off their ramp and you just use Jace Balerion to get ahead on cards. I'm kind of surprised he has Memory Adept in main deck in favor of the Balerion, but...
You know, it's kind of nice. We were talking about... When we added Balerion to the deck, it was because we wanted to change up the Blaze Blasters to other threats. And Memory Adept's definitely a better threat. Christian fetches up a Forest with his Evolving Wilds. And it looks like James Wolfe might be a little land-light. He plays a Glacial Fortress tap, so we'll see what that means. I don't think he has another land in his hand. He's got a Memory Adept, but no more land.
He's got a Balerion too. All right, well, there's 2. Overrun Battlement. Can't Spell Pierce that one. Third
there's
land.
the planes at the top, and a Mirroring Crusader.
All right, time to go.
That guy ends things fast.
Yep, 4 damage a turn, and if James ever gets the Feast of Famine on that guy, it's probably lights out for Christian Valenti.
Yeah.
Protection from green is pretty irrelevant.
Looks like Christian's going to cast an Explore,
right.
See where things go.
Goes exploring, let's see what he finds out in the woods. See, plenty of lands in Christian's hand, shouldn't have any trouble doubling up on that Explore. Only question is, what is he going to do? Looks like Valakut. All right, Valakut and land. Probably another ramp effect.
Yep.
Rampant growth. Oof.
Right, good timing on those ones.
Yeah, man.
Well, right up to 6 mana and right through that Spell Pierce.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, Christian, a lot of people say Valakut is an easy deck to play, but Christian's played it a lot, and I think his experience shows a little bit.
Yeah, there's definitely little things you can do to make sure that your opponent doesn't interact at all.
Yeah. Your play skill helps make the games as uninteractive as possible, right?
So James has the Leonin Arbiter we were talking about to follow up the hit for 4 with that Mirroring Crusader.
Now, it's a turn too late to really put a damper on Christian plays, but still, Suffer from Evil Titan is a big deal, which I think Christian just drew. And
James also didn't have the land there either, but so James looks a little mana stunted. Can't cast that Hero Blade all in his hand yet, but Christian can't really play Primeval Titan right now unless he doesn't want the come into play search.
Well, it's okay because you can just pay for it next turn, right?
Yeah, that's true.
All right, opt not to search.
Well, can't search.
Yes.
I will choose to not do what I can.
I think you can still shuffle if you want to, though. I'm just saying.
No, you can't.
No?
It's you may search.
Oh, if you do shuffle.
It's no path to exile.
Sure. It's no path to exile. right, so it looks like James is going to serve in here, drop Christian down to 12 with that Mirroring Crusader. Yep, Crusader drops Christian down to 12. And there's Jace Beleren. It's going to cantrip, hopefully find James the land that he's looking for.
This is, there's a land, but...
Looks like Fortress comes down.
Might be too little too late.
Yeah, I mean, now Perennial Titan's going to go to town and search up.
Especially if
business.
Christian has another mountain in his hand,
Yeah.
it's definitely out of hand.
So, yeah, Leanin' Arbiter, when you untap with the Perennial Titan, it's pretty easy to get around the cost. So, all right, pays 2 for the Arbiter.
I think this signals the start of some ramping.
Yes.
Probably gonna... See, he definitely has another mountain in his hand.
Yeah.
He's got several mountains in his hand.
Maybe he's paid it now so he wouldn't accidentally forget later or something ridiculous.
Yeah. You know, like accidentally pass priority with the trigger on the stack, and then motor resolves it, and you wonder where it all went.
Right, yeah.
It's the 4th mountain, so this Primeval Titan is definitely getting these Valakut's active right now.
All right, so gonna get a Mountain Valakut. Valakut probably shoots the Mirroring Crusader.
I think that Titan goes to Jace, and I think that both of his guys die.
There's only one Valakut, right?
Yeah, but 2 triggers. Oh, he's getting a Valakut. Oh.
No, you can only get 1 trigger this turn.
No, he can get 2. He gets 2 mountains at once. They both trigger.
Oh, right, sure.
But he gets 2 Valakuts instead, which...
So just setting up for the big turn next turn?
That's another plan. Oh, no.
Oh, man.
And James Wolfe didn't block, so I think that's the full 24.
Yeah. Remember when you could scape shift people for 18? You don't need scape shift anymore.
You didn't need scape shift back then.
It's true. And that's it. Christian Valenti handily and swiftly takes down James Wolfe.
Straight through a Leanin' Arbiter.
2 games straight through Leanin' Arbiter, and wow. Jeez. Match down for James Wolfe.
Yeah.
So Christian Valenti advances to 3-0 with his Valakut deck. That's a deck that might be picking up steam here. A lot of people have been talking about it on Twitter.
It's definitely a force to be reckoned with in this format. It's definitely something you have to watch out for.
I mean, it's just the most. I think it's probably just the most consistently powerful deck, right? It does the same thing every single time.
Yeah.
So, hey, back in the booth here. I'm Gavin Vray here with Ari Lax.
And this is SCG Live.
And for some of you from live from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yes. Has there been an open here before?
I do not believe so.
Yeah.
I've actually never been to Ohio before. You've probably been here a lot of times for PTQs, right?
Not to Cincy, actually.
Really?
Usually they're Columbus or Cleveland.
Now, I've heard the PTQs out here are pretty big, usually.
The Cleveland ones are pretty small, but the Columbus ones are huge. And I think we're about to show right now something pretty nice. There was a premium article written by Brian Kibler that discussed his new Tezzeret deck and had a video deck tech to go with it.
Yeah.
So I think we're about to put that out. So for all of you who don't have premium, this is just a look at some of the various amazing things that are offered on there.
I mean, you should really get premium if you don't.
Yeah.
And if after watching this video, hopefully that'll inspire you
Yeah.
to. But the content on premium is just heads and shoulders
worth it.
above any other Magic content on the net. You have great videos by Michael Jacob and Brian Kibler. You have draft recaps and articles by Brad Nelson and various draft masters. You have, constructed articles for Patrick Chapin, Mike Flores.
It's pretty much better now than ever. You have Jerry Thompson every week with the hits.
AJ, people like AJ Soccer writing articles and
doing videos.
Drew Levin, Drew videos, AJ TV. Great stuff. Great stuff. So anyway, enjoy Kibler's Deck Tech. We'll be back with you in about 10 minutes or so.
Yep.
And hope you guys enjoy the sneak peek into premium.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to my video series here at StarCityGames.com. This is Brian Kibler. I'm making my first constructed video in quite a while. And interestingly enough, this one is also at sort of the gap point on Magic Online between when it links up with the real world. Since we, obviously in the real world, M12 is out, and it won't be out in Magic Online for a while. That said, this is a deck that actually carries over to M12 standard quite well, I think, which is why I decided to sort of take a look at this. Some of you who have been reading my articles recently may recognize at least the basics of this build. This is a Tezzeret deck that is built around, largely built around Torpor Orb. As I talked about in the article a few weeks ago, I think that the Torpor Orb Tezzeret decks have an interesting place in sort of the metagame, in that Torpor Orb is just so powerful against Valakut decks and against the Splinter Twin decks that they can sacrifice a lot. As far as not really needing much else to beat those matchups. You can, rather than Torpor Orb just shuts down the entire Surtark combo, and the Surtark decks without Jace the Mind Sculptor are much weaker to being able to win without that combo. Valakut, they can certainly kill you with Valakut itself or with Titans, but the rest of your deck is pretty well set up to deal with that. So one thing I particularly like about Torpor Orb is that it lets you just tap out, lets you just play things, because they can't just kill you with Titan, they can't just kill you with Splinter Twin, so you can just tap out and cast Tezzeret, for instance. Similarly, Tumble Magnet also lets you, gives you a window. If they cast a Splinter Twin on their Exarch and you tap it with a Tumble Magnet, you get to untap and you can potentially kill it with Go for the Throat. So there's a lot of cards in here that lets this deck play much more like a tap out control deck than a sort of more traditional control deck that holds up counter magic, which is why you only see 3 mana leaks here. So I'm going to go through some of the card choices specifically. This deck has 25 land compared to the 26 land that a lot of blue-black control decks typically play, along with the 4 Preordains. That's because I have a full set of Everflowing Chalice. Everflowing Chalice is obviously a powerful card in terms of accelerating you to Tezzeret, as well as just providing something for Tezzeret to animate. One interesting thing about Everflowing Chalice in this deck that I occasionally use it for is just playing on 0 and just making a 5/5 for free. That's something that you shouldn't overlook, and we'll see if it comes up in any of my games today. The rest of the artifacts, the deck is fairly light in artifacts compared to some Tezzeret decks. It certainly has a lot less than my Surtark deck did. But there's the Chalices, the Torpor Orbs, then Tumble Magnet. As I said before, Tumble Magnet is a card that lets you, proactively spend your resources so you can tap out and protect the stuff that you play. It's not quite as powerful as it was in the era of everyone equipping their creatures, but there are a lot of big things around that Tumble Magnet is pretty good at stopping. And being able to tap out and protect Tezzeret with a Tumble Magnet is definitely pretty powerful. Not that Tezzeret necessarily often needs protecting. I only have 2 copies of Jace Beleren. Jace is sort of the go-to card for a lot of control decks these days, as their Planeswalker, obviously replacing Jace the Mind Sculptor. I think Jace Beleren is much less powerful than Jace the Mind Sculptor, obviously, but also he competes with a lot of the other stuff that you want to be doing. You'd rather be playing out your artifacts. You'd rather play a Tumble Magnet a lot of times in a lot of matchups, and you don't have that much counter magic. So Jace sort of bringing you up, giving you more cards.